Say hello, doggies.
What up, peeps? Welcome back to another DoorDash newsletter edition. We're going to talk about some things in the newsletter from yesterday that came out, and then all the things that happened this week that were kind of interesting to me. A lot of you guys will know about, a lot of you guys won't. Let's get into it. We're doing a little casual dash and run some errands, making a little bit of money, and we'll talk about some things. Let's go. Welcome back. So, the newsletter wasn't that juicy, but I found some other things. So, first off, talked about flu preparedness, yada, yada, yada. The one thing that was interesting, you know, it did give in the newsletter, and I'll put it here, a reason, explanation as to why when you go to your app, it's sometimes gray, pink, or dark red. And it could say, if it's dark red, it could say busy or very busy, and or might have a peak pay involved when it gets like that. So basically what DoorDash tells you, if it's gray, it means there's enough dashers to fulfill the orders coming in. But it can go from gray to pink, or from pink to red, or from gray to red really quickly, and I've seen that. So don't be discouraged if you can't dash now and it's gray. Give it a few minutes, and you could be right on there, okay? Or you can schedule your time ahead of time and lock your schedule in and lock your ability to make money on that zone really easily. Or you could drive, if you're in an area like me, you could drive a few miles to one that is pink or red. If it's pink, it's meaning that there's, you know, kind of enough dashers out there, but you know, you could dash now because they think they need more. And if it's red, there's more orders than there are dashers available, so it needs you to dash right now. Real simple. So it talks about that. Then it gets into some oil change discounts. Listen, you got to get your oil changed. At the bare minimum, you should be doing that based on your automobile. I'm not going to tell you how many miles or whatever. You need to do it. You need to write it down. I get mine done at Valvoline. I know I can do it myself, but I just don't want to spend the time. And it tells me exactly the day I should get it and or the mileage. So look at your newsletter. Maybe you can get some discounts if you don't get them already. Now let's get into the juicier topics. So this past week, you know, shares for DoorDash went up through the roof. There's an $8 billion deal. DoorDash is going not even nationwide, but internationally, globally. We've talked about this a few other times. It's in the news. I think it's important for us to know what DoorDash is doing, because sometimes it can trickle down into how it affects us, whether the app needs to be changed or modified based on their expansion. If the software might change based on expansion. I think they take away base pay from us because they're using that money that they save on expansion. I'm not saying that's what happens, but that would make sense to me. So a lot of news stories financially with DoorDash. It seems like they're doing really well. Typically when companies expand like that and have big news, their stock prices will surge, and that's very common with most companies. But let's get into what might have brought you here and something that's really interesting to me. So before we get into this next story, which is kind of interesting, and I want to get you guys' opinion on it, I always share news on Saturdays. We don't really do ride-along styles because I don't really work on Saturdays. I do got the app on. I'm going to do a few orders as I'm doing some other errands, but that's just because that's how I do it sometimes. Usually on Saturdays I don't have a lot going on, but I will give you my opinion on the news. I want to get your guys' thoughts on it as well, but this will be a shorter video. No ride-along action today. If you want more of that, come back on Monday. All right, so this news story here, this has been happening for a little bit. I remember about a couple months ago, somebody sent me a screenshot, and I don't know where it is, but it was from a bakery, and it was like so far away, like it was crazy. Anyways, DoorDash is doing like nationwide delivery. And really, they're pushing it for this holiday season. So what I mean by that is, and I'll put some split screens, and you guys could look at this news article for yourself. I won't go over the whole thing, but you could get, there's like Cat's Deli out in New York. They do like pastrami sandwiches, like they're really internationally known. You can get that delivered. Maine lobsters delivered. Lobsters from Maine delivered to California, right? And you've always been able to, there's special, niche, unique services of delivering. If you got enough money, you can have anything delivered. That's not new, but DoorDash is jumping on this. Now, you can have what's called priority delivery, 4 to 5 days, or it could be several months if you don't pay for that. Now, I haven't seen anything on how much this costs, but basically these things they're not going to arrive hot and fresh, right? You're not going to get a lobster that's hot in a bag like you would from down the street. You're not going to get a pastrami on rye and it's going to be hot. These are going to be like prepackaged in like a big like cryovac, like the dry ice kind of container, right? And you're going to have to reheat it yourself, right? Or unthawed, because it could be frozen. But you're going to get that particular brand that you really like or that somebody that you love likes and you do it for a holiday gift. I wonder how this affects us. I have no idea. I can see it. It's going to have to be via like an airplane or something, and then it gets somewhere, and then maybe we get it on our end to pick it up from a particular spot. I'm not sure. Tell me how you think logistically this will work. I have ideas, but the article really didn't say it, or I didn't care to look. But it's interesting that I could, on the DoorDash, listen, DoorDash is everywhere, guys. Part of the reason that their market share has gone up every year, their profitability has gone up. They don't say they're making money, but they are, because what they're making, they're just reinvesting in their company, which is smart. I think good companies do that because they're thinking 10 years from now. They're not thinking right now. But I will say this. This is my response. And I'm going to bring out Hoodie Pedro. I know I got the hat on, but when you see Hoodie Pedro, that means I'm going to go on a rant and I'm going to be opinionated. Hold up. Let's take that off. All right. Hoodie Pedro back. It's been a couple weeks. Listen, DoorDash. You're growing your brand. Appreciate it. That sometimes will allow us Dashers to make money. The more opportunities we have and see, the better. However, how about you fix the app? You're a tech company that allows merchants and Dashers to connect with customers. You're not a food delivery company. You say this. That's why DoorDash is your name. You guys deliver everything. We do shopping. We deliver everything for the customers and for you. Why don't you fix the app? You got a glitchy app. It glitches weekly, basically. You've got a lot of things with the merchants as far as relationships you could probably be fixing. You're just growing and leaving everything in the dust. Fix some of the current things so that as you grow, your app is getting stronger, more market share, but then you're also getting better. You can't just, the bubble's going to burst at some point, DoorDash. Fix some of the other issues you have, and let's hear about that before you just continue to grow into this being and monster that you're becoming, right? You're going to become so big, but you're going to have all these issues. What's the sustainability? I don't know. That's my opinion, okay? I think it's great that DoorDash is growing, but what do you guys think? Are they doing it too quick without fixing some of the issues they have? And I'll give a quick analogy. I'm a sports guy. I play basketball. I've played basketball. I play it. I love it. I've coached it. I love sports, basketball specifically. So a quick scenario. I'm a basketball player. I'm a point guard. My role on the team and what I provide to the team is I facilitate offense and I'm a leader. Okay, as most point guards should be, right? At least they used to be. But I don't have a great jump shot. I don't play great defense, but I can pass really well, and I'm overall a good leader and motivator, right? But I know what I don't do well, and that's been documented. My coaches have told me that. My teammates have told me that, Pedro, you got to work on your shooting. You're taking a lot of shots, but you're not making them. Your passing's good, but your defense is bad too. Like, can you work on those part of your game to become an overall better player? And what DoorDash does, in my opinion, is they say, no, I'm just going to continue to shoot. I'm going to continue to say I want to guard the best guy. I'm going to continue to want to do everything, okay? But not at a great level. But I'm going to say I do everything. I'm just going to do all this stuff and figure it out as I go along. Versus working on my craft, perfecting a couple things, then working on things I'm not good at. I'm just going to try and say I do everything. I want to be involved in every play, and I don't care if it hurts my team, as long as it looks good on me. As long as I have the ball in my hand all the time, I'm going to be greedy in that way. What do you guys think? Bet on you Seckles one day at a time. See you tomorrow. Listen, and really, in closing, it's just like DoorDash, I think, they do a lot of things well. I am grateful I have the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. But like when you over-exhaust yourself or you over-commit and under-deliver, that usually will catch up to you. See ya. So is the algorithm in DoorDash going to know that I'm here and I literally can't go anywhere? Is the algorithm going to know that? The address is literally on the other side of the track there. So even if I turn all the way back around and do a big loop-de-loop, that wouldn't make sense either. Hope I go. I mean, what? Been sitting here for 15 minutes. I get through one. Here's another one. You know what? Oh my God. This is depressing. at least the positive thing is we're getting, I guess, whatever's on this train or whatever the frick you call it. I guess we're getting some goods and services somewhere. It's not food that's in there, I wouldn't think, right? This is ridiculous, man. Oh my God.